to Farming Simulator 19 on Ravenport. This is the North American map that comes with Farming Simulator 19, and at least when you see this video here, Farming Simulator 19 should be publicly released for everyone. So, again, at the time I'm recording this, it isn't quite publicly released yet, but we're picking up, let's see what's here. What have we done? We've done some harvesting, I believe, since the last video I've done. I've also been continuing to live stream from here and the European map a little bit as well. So let's get started here this episode. We got the field right in front of us here, 24, 25, and 26, which again I did combine all into one field here, ready to harvest with oats. And then we got soybeans. I don't think they're quite ready. Oh, one field is ready. 15 is ready, but 15 also has weeds on it. So, oops. Anyway, let's get started harvesting here. Again, using the John Deere T560i harvester. For those of you wondering if you get straw from oats, yes, you do. You do get straw from oats. Don't really have anything to do with straw at the moment, so I'm not going to bother putting that down. If we were able to get just about afford a round baler, actually, probably. Not sure I really want to do round bales, so that doesn't sound particularly fun. Having to pick them up manually. Which, interestingly enough, unless it's changed, there actually is not any method of picking up round bales in the game outside of manually picking them up. And oats, by the way, here is one of the new crops in Farming Simulator 19. Along with cotton, of course. So oats and cotton. The oats go for the horses. So if you're going to do horses, you do want to get into oats. And again, by the way, if you didn't catch any of the first couple of videos on this series, by the way, I am starting from scratch with a large amount of money, so kind of the medium difficulty setting here. Which again is usually the way I always kind of played Farming Sim. I always played on kind of the medium difficulty, which back in Farming Simulator 17 and older was known as normal difficulty. Now it looks like they've kind of changed up the difficulty names a little bit, and also what you start with. Obviously with easy difficulty, you start with land, buildings, and equipment. The mode I chose to start with, you just start with nothing other than, you know, you're on the map. You don't start with any fields, you don't start with any buildings, and then you just get a large chunk of money. In this case, $1.25 million to spend, which you may think, oh wow, that sounds like a lot of money, but by the time you buy a couple of fields, and with Farming Simulator 19, by the way, you don't necessarily buy fields, you buy like areas of land, which usually includes fields, usually. But once you buy a couple fields or a field, and then you buy some halfway decent starter equipment, in my case, you know, I went with the T560i. Could have gone a little cheaper, a smaller combine, but that just sounds painful. Started out with a John Deere 6155. Again, a little bit larger tractor, not necessarily that big though. I would say and argue your typical, you know, small, really small farm-sized tractor there. And then, of course, you know, plow, cultivator, seeder to all go with it. And then some fertilizing equipment as well. Which, by the way, that's one reason I went with a particular fertilizer spreader I got. The particular fertilizer spreader I have will do both fertilizer and lime. The best I can tell, unless they've changed it, the smallest one only does fertilizer. And that, by the way, is another new game mechanic here in the game. That is lime. And there's actually two new field mechanics you're going to have to become familiar with. Turn them off, too, I guess, if you don't want to use them. But we now have lime in the game. I'm going to get lined up and go the other way around the field here just so my pipe is facing out. Speaking of which, we're what, 3,700, so yeah, almost half full. But yes, you have 2 new field mechanics here. Of course, you have the periodic plowing, which again, I think you can turn that off if you want. But periodic plowing, which is the same as Farming Simulator 17. We also have Fertilizer, which is now down to 2 stages of fertilizer. They took out the 3 stages. It's just 2 stages. Don't believe there's a way to turn that off that I've noticed. So it's 2 stages of fertilizer. And then you also have lime. And then you also can have weeds in your field, which again, if you've seen that one soybean field, yes, I've got weeds in that. In fact, do I have anything I can tab to get up there? Do I? We go look at the weeds. I mean, sounds exciting and all, right? No, but so yes, that's something you're gonna have to watch out for is weeds. And it seems like with the weeds, you have to wait till you see the weeds, then you can spray them. So that's what happened with the soybean field, by the way. Got to the last growth stage. I thought I was good. I wasn't seeing any weeds in the field, but apparently the last growth stage there, the weeds must have appeared. What I ended up doing was fast forward in time through the night there. And then, yeah, apparently sometime during the night, the weeds appeared. Kind of unfortunate, but oh well. I'm not exactly sure how much that affects the yield, but it probably is not good. And I really haven't played enough yet to say for sure, but it seems like the weeds are maybe a little bit on the random side as to when they appear. What I noticed with the oat field here, I had the weeds show up right away. The first growth stage, once they actually oats started appearing up out of the ground here in the game, then I had weeds. So I was able to spray them, and then I didn't have to spray this field again. Now with the soybean field, on the other hand, I kept waiting for weeds. And finally thought, well, maybe the weeds aren't going to show up here. I'm not getting any weeds, so let me go ahead and fast forward time through the night, and that's when those dirty little buggers showed up. I checked it, I forget what time it was while I was fast forward time, but I did check it once. It's like, well, there's no weeds. That's interesting. I guess maybe there's not going to be, but apparently there was, so. And then something to note, at least with the weeds anyway, once you have weeds and the crop is ready to harvest, it's too late. You can't spray the weeds anymore, so you do have to get the weeds kind of right away, so to speak. Anyway, as far as progress goes on here, we're making progress slowly but surely. Seems like it is taking us a while. I've got, what, 55,000 here at the moment. We finally picked up those 2 fields there I was pointing out here a few minutes ago with the soybeans on them. So that should definitely help us make some money. Otherwise, making money off of just this field here is taking forever. And again, I got 3 fields here, 24, 25, and 26, so it is 3 fields, but basically every time I harvest, you know, a couple $1,000, couple $1,000, couple $1,000. So yeah, it definitely takes a long time. You only make a couple $1,000 each time. And then of course, you know, learning some of the new game mechanics here as well. I think I screwed up fertilizer one time. Definitely screwed up the weeds. That's not the first time I've screwed up on watching for the weeds. Usually skipping the night is what gets me, because again, at least for video purposes here, I typically like to skip the night. Otherwise, you're playing at night and there's just, you really can't see nothing. And as I've said before too, stay tuned for the live streams. Again, I am live streaming over on Twitch. So just keep that in mind, live streaming over on Twitch. I'll definitely be doing some Farming Simulator 19 giveaways here. Like I keep saying here, as soon as I get my hands on some Farming Simulator 19 keys, we'll be doing some giveaways. And you can find RDAllen on Twitch, by the way. Just search for RDAllen on Twitch. And I probably have a link in the description below as well. So again, if you want to check that out, link should be in the description for that. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long to harvest this field. We're making pretty quick progress. This is the John Deere 625 head, by the way, so 25 foot. Once we get these done, we'll head up to the soybeans next then. Oh, and we're almost full. I don't have any buildings on my farm site yet. All the money I've had so far has gone into equipment and fields. So once we get a little bit of money here, probably want to actually upgrade maybe my plow first. Maybe switch to a little bit different plow. Maybe try one of the Ripper style plows in the game here. Seems like that'd work a little bit better to me than our current. I think our current plow is what, 2.5 meters or something like that. And some of those plows, at least the smaller ones, start at like 4 meters. So that sounds a little more appealing to me than the 2.5 meters, especially seeing how there's no GPS yet. Which, by the way, GPS mod, from what I've heard, should be out shortly. Hopefully that'll be the case. We'll find out or not, but... And for all those you asking if there'll be mods for Farming Simulator 19, I've got 2 responses for that. One, have some patience. I'm sure there'll be lots and lots of mods for Farming Simulator 19. And then, my second thought is, what do you need mods for? You got what is there, 300 some pieces of equipment in the game here. Now, granted, it's not all new, but there is quite a few new pieces of equipment here in Farming Simulator 19 to try out. So, Hurricane Harvester. Like the wrong type of map. Actually, is sugarcane even supported on this map? Probably is, I would have to imagine, but well, like I said, you got lots of new equipment. I really like how they've done the shop this time as well. They've really broken stuff up a lot more. Otherwise, some of the categories before could really get crowded. Okay, and we'll read some comments here in a moment. Joe was saying, good job, can't wait till you get some big-time equipment and fields. He was also saying, FYI, Giants Editor is out. The new version of Giants Editor. Which, by the way, is required for doing modding here for Farming Simulator 19. Not necessarily required maybe if you're converting a mod, but typically required if you're going to be making, especially from scratch anyway. Thomas McConsole was saying in Europe, Blue Def is called AdBlue. Go figure, the Europeans think they got to be smart and call it something different. I wonder what AdBlue stands for. Doesn't say. Just out of curiosity, if anybody knows, what does AdBlue stand for? In America, Blue Def, blue, just because that's, I don't know, actually, why do they call it blue? Because it's not like it's really blue. It has a blue cap. Does this combine, don't know if this combine would have that or not. There's the fuel tank. P560i, not sure how old this combine is. I'm going to guess it probably doesn't, but maybe it does. The newer S790 definitely would. But they call it Blue Def. Like I said, the cap is blue. And why they really call it blue, I'm not sure, because I don't know where there's really anything blue about it. But the Blue Def, DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. So, Thomas was also saying you really need to demonstrate the sugarcane in the biggest field. We might just be able to do that. 13 Dixie Fried was saying, ooh, you chose my suggestion. Okay, must be 13 Dixie Fried was the one that suggested JD for the dog's name. I'm actually kind of combining up that one and Jeffrey's because we call him JD Starfire. That seems like a good name, I thought. So JD Starfire is our dog's name over there. It's a rather useless dog. Somewhere in the comments here, someone was saying you should be able to get the dog to play fetch with you. I have not been able to do that yet. I don't know what the trick is, but you can get him to follow. Just, was it right? No, left click? I think it's left click. You walk up to him and left click, if I recall correctly. Connor was asking, what about Courseplay and the Geo mod? I'm assuming he means GPS mod, not Geo mod. But Courseplay, I've not heard any word on Courseplay yet. I would imagine more than likely it will be out at some point. It did take, was it like a month or two for them to come out with Courseplay for Farming Simulator 17. Again, there's a lot of converting that has to be done there and a lot of testing to make sure that Courseplay will work. Courseplay is no simple mod. GPS, though, from what I've heard, and this is going on from what I've heard a few hours ago, is in the works and could potentially be released when Farming Sim 19 comes out. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Okay, almost have this field done here. Yeah, doing pretty good on the oat yield here. I forget now if this will be the first or second time I've actually filled up the combine on this field. Apparently everything I've harvested so far, well, one, we did a lot of cotton. And then everything else I've harvested must have been a little bit lower yielding, and or, I've screwed up and had weeds or something in the fields. Didn't quite get the full fertilizer. We actually filled up the combine and then a little bit more here. Oh, Kevin was saying, I wish they would have put John Deere cotton pickers in there in the game to make round bales. That actually would have been a really good idea if you ask me. Put, they got the case one that makes the big square bales, but then maybe put the John Deere round baler one, or you can even put the John Deere one that just puts it in a hopper, basically doesn't bale it. But then again, there's only so much, equipment that Farming Simulator can add to the game, because everyone's going to want something different. So they got to stop somewhere. Otherwise, you'll never have a released game. And not to mention as well, mods typically fill in the gaps. So whatever you don't have and you want, there's probably a mod out there for it. And if not, you can always learn how to mod yourself and make it. Ryan was saying, looks like you need a maintenance shed. Yes, the John Deere 6155 there is getting close to needing some maintenance. On purpose, though, I have not been doing any maintenance on it. I'm just kind of curious what happens if we kind of empty that maintenance bar, so to speak. Okay, we're going to head up to the soybean field here, by the way. Gotta be careful driving up this road here. Slight accident could end quite disastrously. Okay, in our very weedy soybean field. That's what a weedy, at least soybean field looks like anyway. This field, by the way, is 15 and 16. I did plow this together. I also plowed it out quite a bit closer to the road. Obviously, I didn't plow it quite right to the road. Didn't want to, have the hired worker, go too far this way, and, oopsie. In fact, that might even be a problem now, I'm not sure. Probably depends on the piece of equipment we put on the field. For those who are wondering if you can get rid of these bushes, by the way, I've been asked that a couple times. You can plow them. I don't know if there's any other way to get rid of them or not, but you can plow them. You can't mow them. We did try that. So, no, mowing is not an option. Don't ask me why. It seems like it should be, but... Okay, I'm just going to hire a worker on this for the time being. And I'm going to go take care of emptying out. Hey, train. Oh, you know what? Let's take the John Deere. Maintenance. Oh, maintenance is out. Wonder what happens when the maintenance is out. Starting to look a little worn on the back, I do believe. Nope, that's a header. Look out for that. I do have the loader off, by the way. Kind of got sick of the loader, the pallet forks on the front of the loader disconnecting every now and then when I went to disconnect a piece of equipment and accidentally had them selected instead of, say, the trailer or something. Ryan was saying, good day, Randy. There's quite a few items from Farming Simulator 17, tractors and equipment coming over to Farming Simulator 19 this week. Some examples include the Flegel bale trailer and everyone's favorite Hurleyman. Oh boy, and nothing wrong with a Hurleyman with normal tires, but a Hurleyman with narrows is just wrong. In fact, you know what, folks? Let me show you something that's very wrong in the game here when it comes to tractors. Discovered this a day or two ago. Picked up a Case 7210 here. Go through the, yes. I mean, just look at that hideous monstrosity. Oi, that's just wrong. Just wrong. Dallas was asking, when will the Amazon copy of Farming Simulator 19 be mailed out? Well, I'm assuming by mailed out, you mean you're getting a disc copy of Farming Simulator 19, and that will probably be mailed out after the launch date, I would assume. So if you're waiting on mail, you have to wait another, probably an additional couple of days for it to arrive. Actually, you know what? I probably should double check here. Almost everything I've sold so far, by the way, sells for the best price at the restaurant. But just out of curiosity, oh, Central Grain Elevator, $741. Actually, a little bit better. Okay, where's the Central Grain Elevator? I don't think I've been there yet. Henry? Probably logging down here. Yes, that's logging down there. Central Grain Elevator? Nope. Sawmill. Biogas? Check. Ranch? Okay, seriously? Central Grain Elevator. Oh, my goodness. I have not been up to this portion of the map here yet, so we're going to have to figure out, we take, Roadster and, actually, Hague Place. Yeah, that'll work. Should put a marker up in the sky, right? Yep, there it is over there. Okay, so we're going to have to, kind of get on this main road here, I guess, and, right, follow it around somewhere. A good opportunity to check out the map here. No, this really isn't going to be the way I want to go, is it? I'll refrain from taking out the stop sign this time. I think we're going to have to go around this way. I have been up by the Port Grain Elevator. That's about the furthest I've been in the map here so far when it comes to delivering crops. Ooh, 10 mile an hour. I wonder if that is because of the maintenance. We do some maintenance for this tractor. Like I said, and everyone's kind of been asking as well what happens when you run the maintenance out, so I figured I'd find out. Up to speed though, 26 is being the speed for it. Levin was saying the tutorial screen on the pause section will tell you how the yields are impacted when you need to plow or spread lime. Something I'll probably have to check out at some point just to see how much it is affected. I know back in Farming Simulator 17, I believe it was 10% when it came to the plowing, and then 33%. I think it was a 33% or 30%. No, 30%. I think it was 30% for each level of fertilizer. Killing Fritz was saying yes, you can throw the ball, and the dog will retrieve it. Because the ball spawns back at the dog house when he gets it. Yeah. Oh, maybe I have to try that again, because so far I've not had any luck with throwing the ball. He does not seem to be interested at all in it. Colin was saying, I fully agree with you regarding GPS. It should really be standard issue in any farming simulator game. And why they don't make it standard issue, I don't know. Go this way or not? On the map if this connects or not. It does. Okay, looks like a shortcut to me. Wasn't sure if this thing like went up on some sort of ridge here or something we couldn't get down from it. Colin was also asking, does anyone know how to get rid of those annoying shrubs, bushes and weeds, etc. from around the farm site? As I was saying, the only way I know at this point is to take the plow to them. The only thing is maybe you don't want to necessarily do that to your ground. I'm not sure. Curious to see how much the maintenance for this tractor is going to cost here. Probably one of those things where if you do it when you're supposed to, it's maybe a little cheaper. Not sure. I am slowly passing this car, very, very slowly. And actually, if this tractor would go a little faster, I'd pass him probably quicker. That probably has something to do with the maintenance, by the way, because this tractor seems a little underpowered. I suspect that is probably because of the maintenance issue here. Okay, central grain elevator. We'll make a little bit of money here. Time for oats. And, oh boy, I guess we can just go back around the way we came. And we'll head back to 15 there. Planting soybeans in that field again. If you watch the live streams, I did live stream from those fields there. We harvested soybeans once before already. I made a good amount of money off of that, so that's kind of why I'm doing it again. Soybeans are always typically a good cash crop. Although when you think about it, and I have mentioned this before, usually the crops in the game here, they all sell for about the same price. Well, you get about the same amount from a field. Because while soybeans do sell for more, you get less of them. Wheat, just pick wheat, sells for less, but you get more of it. So whether or not you plant wheat or soybeans, you'll probably get about the same amount off the field. It just seems like soybeans you get more because they are worth more, you just don't get as much. And I have mentioned this many times before, but one thing I think everyone will notice when you get this game, the graphics. They have really, really improved the graphics here. So I'll have to say that is kind of a pretty sight there looking across here like that. Patterson's Stackyard. Traffic on the map, by the way, is in movable. And they also don't listen to any sort of, rules of the road of any such either. So just keep that in mind. Guess I can turn my flashers on. Okay, let's see. So we're across the road from it here. I think there's a solution to this. Is there actually a way across officially? Yeah, maybe a little further down. I think we just kind of, make our own way here. Nothing to see here, railroads. We're just going to hop across the tracks here. Okay, there we go. Looks like he's very full yet, so... How are we looking on the combine here so far? We are at 7,000. Actually, not doing too bad. Did the rest of this field become ready to harvest already? Because it kind of looks like it was. Oh, it is. Excellent. The rest of the field is ready to harvest. Nice. Okay. Let's work on getting 24, 25, and 26 replanted here. Do we need to know anything special about this? It needs lime. Wow, it needs lime again? We just did lime. What do I have in here? I got fertilizer in here. Okay, we're going to have to ditch the fertilizer. I think I got some lime left yet. Oh, boy, one pallet? Is that it? That's probably not going to be enough. Yeah, basically you'll have to check the map here when you need to put lime on the field. I'm not sure how often you have to do the lime. Again, I don't know if it says in the help section or not. I haven't checked that, but we'll have to get some more lime here because this is lime, right? Yeah, that's lime. Unless it's full, I don't think that's going to be enough lime. A really nice feature that you can unload the spreader and then load up fertilizer or lime depending on which one you need. I was kind of wondering about that when I purchased this. It's like, how am I going to handle both fertilizer and lime? Because if it just dumps it out on the ground, that's going to be rather annoying to deal with. But it doesn't. It dumps it back into the pallet, so that's pretty nice. Has a nearly full grain tank. Oh boy. Something to keep in mind of this as well, by the way. With lime, this spreader has a 12-meter wide spread width. With fertilizer, it is, I think it's 24. Don't actually really have a GPS mod to check it, but I'm pretty sure it's 24. And looks like, again, 12 probably with the lime in it. So a lot narrower spread on the lime. Also, the lime seems to go really quickly. Now, fertilizer lasts a long time, but lime, you're out of it real quick. In fact, you're out of it so quick that by the time he gets to the end of the field here, he is, okay, not quite out, but he's basically out. Yep, TF10. Okay, might as well just dump a little bit out there. Okay, we're going to have to head up to the shop here, then get some more lime. On that note, though, everyone, looking at the time here, it looks like it is time to wrap it up for this episode here already. So, folks, have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.